And I am delighted to announce a major victory for all outsiders was achieved this week, spearheaded by this show. Foreign Affairs Minister Marise Payne finally announced on Wednesday that Dan Andrews' sinister and secretive Belt and Road deals done between the state of Victoria and the Chinese Communist Party will not go ahead because they are not in the national interest. About time too. On May 24th last year, you will remember, I had an exclusive interview here on Outsiders with Donald Trump's Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, in which I did what no other Australian had done. I specifically raised the issue of Victoria signing up to the Belt and Road Initiative with the most powerful man in the Western Alliance. At that point, it was clear that Secretary Pompeo was unaware of the deal, but his immediate response was that if the US felt their security was being compromised by such a deal, to quote, the US would simply disconnect from Australia.
Communications infrastructure, any risk to the national security elements of what we need to do with our Five Eyes partners. We're going to protect and preserve the security of those institutions to the extent they have an adverse impact on our ability to protect telecommunications from our private citizens or security networks for our defense and intelligence communities. We will simply disconnect. We will simply separate. We're going to preserve trusted networks for important information. We hope our friends and partners and allies across the world, especially our Five Eyes partners like Australia, will do the same.
According to The Guardian, all the lovies, my interview caused a diplomatic storm, with the US ambassador being dragged out that Sunday afternoon to hose down Pompeo's comments. The ABC and The Guardian, of course, attacked me personally and Outsiders as being some fringe freak show and questioned why Pompeo had chosen to be interviewed by me and not by some reputable media outlet. I presume they meant themselves. But the reality is no other journalist or government official in this country had bothered or dared to raise the issue of Dan Andrews' deals with Communist China at such a high level in the US administration. The Chinese Communist Party's mouthpiece, the Global Times, also joined in the fun of slagging off Outsiders. But now the tables have turned, and it is Dan Andrews who has been simply disconnected from the Belt and Road Initiative. Similarly, the three of us on Outsiders have been relentless in attacking the insanity of the collective guilt imposed by General Angus Campbell and Scott Morrison on 3,000 diggers who are going to have their citations removed because of unproven alleged war crimes by a handful of soldiers in Afghanistan. In another victory for common sense, those citations were restored this week by our outstanding new Defence Minister, Peter Dutton. These aren't the first fights Outsiders has fought and won on your behalf, and they won't be the last. It was thanks to Outsiders and Spectator Australia writer John Stone that Peter Dutton 3 years ago ditched the insidious global contract on migration. And it was thanks to the Outsiders and the Spectator Australia's David Adler and Andrew Urban, along with Pauline Hanson, that Julie Bishop cancelled over 10 million of your tax dollars going to finance the murder of Jews via UN aid to Palestine.